So let's go to your college, journey and voyage. And so take me back to that first day after you said, you went there with your mom, she left, you went to orientation. What was that like after that? Like, you go to class and you got to meet these new people.
Yeah.
You're like, oh God, some creep ones here, some weird guys, weird girl. Like, how'd you like deal with that? What was your mindset?
I was trying to be very open-minded because I was kind of dropped in a school where I didn't know anybody. I had never even known anyone that had gone to that school before me. Ursuline College is women's focused, so automatically that kind of makes a girl feel comfortable. It's just like a bunch of girls hanging out,
My friend's mom used to teach there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Go ahead.
And so you're automatically pretty comfortable. You don't have to worry about looking good all the time or trying to impress a male or whatever. So, being women's focused, you're automatically, at least I was, very comfortable in my community. And going to classes, I just wanted to keep an open mind. You kind of like hear girls talking, and I'm outgoing, so if they were talking about something that I had an interest in or something that I had something to contribute to, I was always like, say something. Introduce yourself, make some friends. And so that's what I consider a positive of my own personality, is that I'm comfortable in situations like that. And then, I had my teammates, and I automatically knew I was going to be spending a ton of time with these girls. So make friends, be nice to them, create a team community. Even as a freshman, I knew good teams need good leaders. So, I would pick out the leaders and use them as mentors, the girls in years before me. And I asked a lot of questions. I mean, what's there to do around this school? What club should I join? Who are good professors for classes? I kind of used it as like a help me situation.
But you're curious.
Yeah.
And being curious, you ask a lot of questions. That means you want to know how to get better or, strategize. So
yeah,
I commend you on that.
Whether it's like in my personal life or professionally, someone knows more than you. So ask them. Ask how they got there. It's only going to help you in the end.
Right. So take me to that day when you guys had practice and then you had to get ready for the meets. Mm-hmm. I know swimming, but I don't know it well enough. Like, how did your swimming help you become a better person? And
so swimming is an interesting sport, and a lot of people know more about situations in like track. So swimming, like track, there are both individual and team events.
Okay.
So swimming, there's relays. So there's four girls in your relay, and you got to pick up someone else's slack if they're not having a good day.
Did you do relays?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did relays in both and individual.
Okay.
I specialized in breaststroke. So the 100 and 200 meter breaststroke, and then I did a lot of medley relays, which is everyone does a different stroke. But
what's a breaststroke? What is that?
Breaststroke's like the frog stroke.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to be honest. I just don't know.
That's okay. Yeah, it was my favorite. I mean, even when I was 5 years old in the pool, everyone knew that was my thing.
Right.
So swimming unique is that, you're competing against your own time, and you also have the team events. And then at the very end, there's there's a point system. So as a team, you win or lose. So you have that, I want to do well for my team, but also I want to do well for myself. And also something I enjoyed about swimming is that it's very black and white. I mean, there are touch pads in the water. You can't fake it. I mean, there's no subjective.
Right.
I thought that was a good move. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's like you can't argue.
Right.
Like you're either good, you're bad, you did well, you didn't do well that time. And so I always had that solid goal.
Right.
Beat it by another second. Beat it by So that's something that kept me going and what I liked about swimming.
So what kind of mindset did you have? A lot of people are, it's those teammates that's work hard or lazy ones we have, ones that you got to pick up slack. Or what was your role, throughout your career at college? Like You know, what was your role?
I was towards
the team.
Yeah, towards the end of my 4 years, I became a captain. Junior and senior year, I became captain. And I motivated people like I would want someone to motivate me. I mean, if they're having a bad day, sit down, talk with them. If they don't want to go to practice, you know, try and get down to the root of it. Why? Is it a personal issue? Are you not enjoying the sport? Is there a team issue? Is there drama going on? I mean, positive and negative of girls' schools is that, like, girls like their drama. So, I mean, are you not getting along with someone? And, you know, ultimately everyone's goal is the team. So, you know, you got to remind them of that and say, you know, you're here for more than just yourself. There are other girls counting on you. There are other people around that need you to be on your A game. So what can we do to get you there? So like I asked people for help, I lended myself to others to bring them up with me.
Right, right. So you went to school for nursing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And what's some, you know, things that you went through, you know, being a nurse and being an athlete? Like, how did you combat, you know, different subjects, different things you were doing? And how did you, like, focus, like, on being a nurse, like learning, you know, education? How did you focus on that?
Yeah, so nursing school on its own is no joke, and being a student athlete on its own is no joke. I mean, and bringing the two together, some people would try and talk me out of it and say, you know, maybe just stick with nursing. That's going to be the rest of your life. Maybe athletics is going to take away from that. But it was the structure and the routine that helped me with everything. You know, practice in the morning, classes, and then we'd go to clinical and, you know, help other nurses out in the hospital as students and learn from them. And, you know, you get home and you only have 3 hours of the day to yourself. You have no time to fool around. So that's something that I was grateful for, that I did nursing and athletics. It was the structure that helped me through the struggles.
Right. I can relate. First 2.5 years. I didn't play after that, which was hard for me, which is how I created what I'm doing now, which is we trying to, you know, figure. You asked me that earlier. You said, what do I do?
Yeah.
But when I didn't play sports no more, I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Just like you have, when you graduated, you had to figure it out. But, you know, God, I guess, like, planted that years before I had to, like, figure it out. So I had to figure it out pretty early, and I was kind of, like, upset at the time, but it led me to create what I have now. And, you know, if I didn't go through those steps, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Right.
But, you know, sometimes you got to go through the struggles that come up.
Right.
And,
you knew your purpose before you did.
Yeah, he did. The funny thing is, like, me doing this with you and me doing everything else I do, is that I never thought I'll be doing it.
You surprise yourself sometimes.
What? Me?
Me about to finish my nurse practitioner degree. You have an amazing business. It's just you kind of take a step back sometimes and you're like, it's okay to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. And to continue that, I want to get my doctorate degree. So got my master's, got my undergrad, and I can relate to you. So I know what you kind of going through because I've been through it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked about, you know, experiences in the past, and you're about to graduate college. And where were you at your mindset then, and how'd you prepare for the next phase of your life?
Yeah. So
in 2014.
Yes, I graduated with my bachelor's in nursing in 2014, and Cleveland has so much to offer in regards to healthcare, so I wanted to stay in Cleveland. I ended up at University Hospitals, and I was on their organ transplant unit. I moved to a different suburb of Cleveland, and I worked at their Case Western Reserve campus of UH. And there are certain things when you graduate nursing and when you're in nursing school that they try and tell you and they try to relate to you about nursing as much as possible. But you get on the unit and you're on your own with your own patients and you're like, what?
Right.
Like,
They didn't
this
teach
was
me this.
not what I thought it was.
Yeah, they didn't teach me this.
So, yes. So as a new nurse, it's very typical that you either are on straight night shift or you rotate days and nights.
Okay.
So
what was your schedule?
I was rotating.
Okay.
So every few weeks I'd be like 3 weeks of straight night shift, 3 weeks of straight day shift.
Right.
And I love day shift. I'm a morning person. Being an athlete, I was always a morning person. Night shift was no joke.
No joke.
Not for me. I've tried it multiple times. It's just not for me. But that, among with, living on my own, and all of a sudden you graduate college and you're what, 21, 22, and like, okay, I don't feel like an adult, but I'm supposed to be,
right.
And there's this like stereotypical like adulting,
right.
plus the responsibilities that come with it, and I was extremely overwhelmed. I was living on my own, which had its own struggles, and I was just absolutely lost.
Like dealing with bills? Like
yeah.
just like life stuff?
Yeah, just like regular everyday, but you have to learn it on your own when you're 21 and, you have the income now. So it's just like, here's everything, like take
right.
care of it yourself. And I was no longer swimming. So the structure of my life was kind of turned upside down. And even though I've discussed before how I'm motivated, I like goals and everything, I was kind of confused and lost and really didn't know where to turn. So as far as, not swimming anymore, I love being active, and I didn't know how to work out on my own. I always had a coach with me. I always had girlfriends with me. We had this like structure. This is the time you're going to do it. This is what you want to do. And I was confused. And so I ended up hooking up with someone that introduced me to the fitness world and the new and upcoming trend of fitness competitions. And I said, you know what, this is a goal to have. This will keep me in shape. It's a competition, so it has that aspect to it. And it'll fill my time when I'm on days or nights and alone, and I have something to do and a goal to have. So I teamed up with someone, and I was told that in order to have the physique to get on stage, I would, one, have to build muscle, but two, you build that muscle and then you lose weight. I had never been told as a college swimmer or an athlete in general, like, lose weight. I was like, what? Like, I've never been on a diet in my life. I just, I work out like crazy, and then I eat because I'm starving and I don't know what else to do. So I needed a lot of structure in that. So I was put on, a meal plan and workout plans. And I like the satisfaction of having that end goal. Like I said with swimming, you have that black and white time. This was it. And
were you misdirected, or were you just like...
I took it upon myself.
Okay.
I don't believe that I was misdirected, but my perseverance and motivation, unfortunately, was a negative in this aspect.
Gotcha.
In that I was given these instructions, and I said, well, if I increase the exercise and decrease the food intake, I think I'll end up there quicker and better. And, I'll get positive feedback from everyone on how well I'm doing.
Right.
And that, in addition to the excess stress that I was having in my personal life as far as being a new nurse and being in a city that wasn't home, it was just a snowball effect. It was a lot of things, and it did take some time, but I reached a point where my intake was so low and I was exerting myself too much that I was having issues at work. I was getting very lightheaded at work. I was passing out. My heart rate was really low. And my main complaint or negativity that other people saw was my irritability. I turned into a completely different person, and I had no energy, and that's what other people saw. And people would make small comments, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then one day, my mom sat me down, and we were out to lunch.
Okay.
And
what happened there?
Mom sat me down, and she kind of questioned what was wrong. Was I not liking my job? Did I not like nursing? And no, I told her I love nursing. I do want to be a nurse. I just need to, pay my dues and get on a better schedule. But we sat down for lunch, and I just started crying, and I said, Mom, it's uncomfortable for me to go out to lunch. I was like, I'm struggling. Like, I have this menu in front of me, and I'm having a really hard time with this. And she was like, that's not like you at all.
Right.
And that I just exposed to her everything, and me being close to my family, I felt bad telling her because I knew she was going to go with, well, I didn't see this. I didn't catch on to it. You know, you're my daughter, I should have. And I didn't want her to feel that way. There were very small signs that looking back she could see, but you know, no one ever really saw me enough to catch on. No one was with me in my, you know, 1-bedroom apartment seeing that I wasn't eating, or seeing that I wasn't buying groceries, or seeing that when I had any free time it was spent on the treadmill. So there's no one to blame. And I am very lucky that I could openly tell my mother this. So my mom, being the very giving person that she is, she dove into finding me help. We didn't really know anything about the term anorexia. I didn't think that it would be.
So this never happened like prior. This
No.
new. This is all new.
This was all
This
new.
like
To me and to my family.
Got you.
Everything was new, and we were looking into what to do next. So she knew I needed to work out less and eat more. I mean,
Right.
that's, if only it was that easy, but she knew where to start. So,
Right.
you know, she attempted to motivate me to eat more, you know, take up hobbies that weren't so active. But she did find a care facility in Cleveland. They're called the Emily Program.
How did she find out? Like, how did she get you guys connected?
The world of the internet.
Oh, okay.
And there's not, in Northeast Ohio, it's basically one of the only accredited and well-established treatment centers for eating disorders.